Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics, that's 9 Classics. This is episode number 871 and Doubleshot number 760. I think it's 65. 65. Alright, two Marvel trades. First up, it is Rocket Racoon, Volume 1, A Chasing Tale. Collecting Rocket Racoon Volume 2, Issues 1 through 6. Writing and artwork by Scotty Young. Of course, he draws the first 5 issues, and of course, he writes the entire series. And we also have Jake Parker, who basically co-draws with him issue 5 and takes over issue 6. Now, those of you curious, though, is this the first self-titled series Rocket Racoon ever released? Some people may have thought of that when the title came out a few years ago, but no. He had a series composed back in the 1980s, done by his creators, Keith Giffen and Bill Mantlo. And yes, that's how the artwork looks like in the book. Yeah, this is one of those special hardcover trades that I managed to pick up from a store called Ali's. Yep. Yeah, there are some Marvel trades actually released like this. The special Premier Edition trade, stuff like that. Now, the thing with this particular series is that it's just Rocket Racoon when he's not with the Guardians. Yep. Just chill, and all of a sudden people accuse him of crime. And it turns out this whole thing is actually done by an old rivalry. His name, basically, was a bionic rabbit. And he's been posing as if like, oh yeah, maybe another person species. Nope, not really another species. Though they do find out later, and of course this storyline takes up the first 4 issues of this trade. The last couple issues are couple standalones. Issue 5 is Groot telling a campfire story to a bunch of kids. And pretty much the whole book is I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot, Groot. Times. Last book is just basically with the Guardians. That's simply what it is. Fun little series. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Currently, Scotty Young is the writer of Deadpool. Not bad. Not bad at all. First Rocket Racoon, then he goes to frickin' Deadpool. Which is really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Only 8 issues in. It's just really damn good. Next up, it is New Warriors, which is a Civil War prelude. This collects New Warriors Volume 3, Issues 1 through 6, written by Zeb Wells, and of course, artwork by Scotty Young. Yeah, just by sheer coincidence that this is another book by Scotty Young. Now, the New Warriors, which were a group first comprised back in the 1990s, this is their revival in 2006, even though they last had a revival in basically about 6 years prior to the events of this particular miniseries. Yeah. At this point, the New Warriors become a reality show. No idea why this was a good idea. Instead of making a regular superhero team, let's make them a reality show. And this lineup consists of mostly a lot of classic members of New Warriors. You have Night Thrasher, Nova, Speedball. You have those 3, along with Nemertita, who is one of the original members, along with 2 new ones. Micro, who made his debut in issue 1, and Deborah Dida, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Yeah, Deborah. Or Debris. Also, for some reason, Nova looks like he is drawn with no sleeves. I don't honestly know why he's drawn like that for, because a lot of the time when you see him, he usually does have sleeves. But actually, I think he does have sleeves, but he's drawn a little awkwardly, especially since his big symbol on his helmet is drawn really big. And despite the fact he's actually the only one of the 2 people on the team who actually does have physical powers, actually one of 3, he actually acts like the leader, even though that Night Thrash is the leader, though there's no thorough explanation of why they're put in this situation to work for a TV show. Yes, apparently something happened to the Talent Foundation, and it's never revealed what exactly happened. Apparently, they were put in debt. It was particularly a very weird situation. Like, something happened to the Talent Foundation. The Talent Foundation doesn't even know what that is. That's a foundation that was headed up by the current Night Thrasher at this point, Dwayne Taylor. Though, of course, his brother's the current Night Thrasher right now. And he used the finances of that particular foundation to finance New Warriors. Which New Warriors were, simply put, DC Marvel's take on both the Teen Titans and the Outsiders. It's a combination of both. Yep, and in the case of Microbe, Microbe is Night Thrasher's stepson. Yeah, as for who he married, never revealed. He's this big overweight guy who and get this, his power is that he can talk to germs. Seriously. Yep. And of course in here they counter Tiger Shark, Armadillo, the Super Apes, the Controller, the Mad Thinker. And of course the thing ends basically leading almost directly into Civil War 1. My guess is Marvel must have been really embarrassed by this lineup of New Warriors. That's probably the reason why Mark Millar decided to kill him off in Civil War #1. Though Nova, prior to that, actually went off into space. He was actually not on the team prior to this. So pretty much this entire lineup minus Nova and Speedball were all killed off in Civil War #1. Yeah. Of course, this book is labeled as a Civil War Prelude. Yeah, even though this book has nothing to do with Civil War, it does accept Civil War? It kind of does. Mostly just sets up the first issue of why New Warriors were there. Luckily enough, the next two writers who took over New Warriors, simply put, tried to get people to try to redeem the series, but for some reason, the way it's written in the Marvel Universe, the people just can't get past what happened in Civil War #1. Despite the fact the readers have gotten beyond that, apparently people at Marvel can't get beyond that. Yeah. As for Zeb Wells himself, the guy is one fantastic writer. I believe his most recent, the last work I have reviewed of him, aside from this, was actually his issues he wrote for Avenging Savage Wolverine. He also wrote some issues of Avenging Spider-Man. Yeah. And simply put, the whole point of this series is just that you have New Warriors basically got picked up for a pilot, and it was revealed that the whole thing was a joke. Like, oh yeah, we are a 6-episode mid-season replacement. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people who are fans of New Warriors are pretty disappointed with this particular miniseries. I don't think it's that bad. I like the characters in here. I like the way Zeb Wells writes them in here. They're perfectly fine. And it was quite odd that the New Warriors had a van as for transportation, which I'm like, that's a little weird. Now, I get the fact that one issue they actually had Microbe and Deborah sidelined for an issue because they were too green. That's indeed true because these two had just joined the group. And of course, Microbe mentioned he had been part of the group for 4 episodes. Which at this point, he only joined back in issue 1. Deborah joined in issue 3. Yep. And she was brought onto the team by the show's producer. Yep. And the show's producer's name is Ashley. And there's a PR woman who is sort of the animal rights activist, and it's kind of hinted at that maybe Nova has, I think it's not Nova, I think it's Speedball has a thing for her, but it goes nowhere. Nemertita, one great character. Of course, for some reason, I have no idea why in the world that this series did this to her. They gave her a redesign, even though she basically looked like a normal person back in the 90s. For some reason, this miniseries decided to give her a redesign because, oh, she's a Atlantean. Let's make her blue-skinned, like all Atlanteans are. Even though that a lot of times when Atlanteans depicted, they do not have blue skin. Well, that's the case for DC. Marvel, for some reason, with the exception of Namor, all of the Atlanteans are blue skin. What are they, Kree? Yeah. Also, why the warrior marks on their body? No idea. It's never been explained. Yeah, I have no idea why in the world it is. Luckily enough, Dan Abbott and Andrew actually undid her death in their own Nova book, and she was pretty much put back to her previous look. From what I remember, it's been a while since I've read Dan Abbott and Andrew Lang's run for Nova. But this isn't that bad per se. It's just that the ending is pretty much disappointing. It's not as, let's say, frustrating as the ending of Amazon's Attack, where the final issue was mailed back to the publisher. This one, it was a disappointing ending to a not bad miniseries for New Warriors. But it's the only time New Warriors actually had a miniseries, because every single time they've had a series of all 5 volumes, they've all been ongoing. But apparently, Marvel just can't repeat the success of the 90s for some reason. I don't know. Give this book an 8.5 out of 10. It's not bad. It's just, well, a bit bizarre. Yeah, and the way they explain Macro's powers is that he talks to Tiger Shark, of all people, and explains apparently he hasn't brushed his teeth in 4 days, he's showered in 10 days. Yeah, and apparently the Germans are very happy with the fact he hasn't done that. Excuse me, yeah. And Tiger Shark is supposed to be Marvel's Black Manta, even though that half the time he doesn't act like him at all. Even though he kind of is supposed to be. Yeah. That's simply what it is. Okay? So, that's it for this particular review. Next one, it's going to be 2 DC trades. Okay? But until you see next review, bye.